that transition phase?
I think the plays and that sort of things are very similar. It doesn't change much, but the thing that you got to realize is that now that you're at the
up and down! He drops the end zone! Are you kidding me? Hard hit into right, back at the wall, Torgo! Unbelievable! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
This is Chapman Sports Radio, Panther Insider, the only radio show dedicated to Chapman athletics.
Hello.
We have our very special guest representing one of the most celebrated club sports on campus, our men's hockey. Well, everybody, welcome Liv Haley. How we doing, Liv?
Hello.
All right, let's get going for another great episode of Panther Insider. So, Liv, welcome on. I know we've had hockey players before, so it's exciting to have another perspective and another eye on our hockey team.
To be here.
Yes. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into this intro and just learn more about you.
Perfect.
So, Liv, I have a few questions for you, and so does my co-host Dennis. We just really want to know, how did hockey start? Where are you from? Did you start hockey when you were very young?
Yeah, so I'm from Situate, Massachusetts. It's kind of like a little beach town, but an hour south of Boston. And no, I didn't start hockey until I was probably 10 years old, I think. My mom was a professional figure skating coach for 16 years.
Wow.
So that's where the ice runs my family, I guess. Figure skating was never really my thing. I remember I did one competition in all of my figure skating career, and I think I got like third place out of 3.
Wow.
We got some great photos of me in a Tigger costume when I was little. And that was the end of the figure skating days. But I would always hang out at the rink with my family. And I remember one day I saw a little flyer for like a learn to play hockey thing. And I think I just pulled it down and went over to my mom and I was like, I want to do this. And she's like, all right, sweet. And she signed me up. And
wow.
There we go.
And just that support system was just immediate, right? I mean, they just said, you know what, we know it's primarily a boys' men's sport, but go for it.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's kind of funny because, especially when I'm in California, people are always like, oh, hockey is such a male-dominated sport, which it is, but back home in Massachusetts, there's so many girls that play hockey that
of course.
It's really, for me, it wasn't any different than if I was asking them to play like lacrosse or soccer or whatever, but yeah, my parents are super supportive with everything. I probably could have asked them to be like a NASCAR driver or something, and my mom would be like, all right, I'll sign you up. Where do I sign?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really lucky.
No, and it's awesome to hear that.
Parents, as
right?
always, seriously, it's one thing you enjoy the sport, but when your
Shout
family
out to Mom.
supports you,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And I mean, it's awesome to hear that, like, that transition. I mean, like you said, over in the West Coast, it's like, oh, is that just dudes play that sport? But now we're kind of seeing the sport grow, and a lot more people from the West Coast and females kind of getting into the sport.
Definitely.
It's really great to see. So we kind of heard like your motivation for it. You just grew up in a family on the ice. What brought you really to Chapman though? What kind of drew your talent here? Was it something about the team that just?
So definitely not that. I actually had no idea Chapman had a hockey team when I came here. Basically, I've always known I wanted to go to film school, so Dodge was really what brought me to Chapman.
Awesome.
And throughout high school and stuff, I thought that I might want to play college hockey. I was talking to like a lot of Division III teams in New England, just like little small schools. And my kind of like my 2 college choices really came down to Chapman or Trinity College in Connecticut. And when I chose Chapman, I was like, all right, like that's it. Like I thought hockey was over for me there and I was like, well, if I go to Chapman, I want to pursue film, and that's what I want to do for my career and for the rest of my life. And hockey's only going to be 4 more years, so I might as well choose a school based on like what I want to study. So basically, came here. I had no idea that there was a hockey team until I think I saw a photo that Rachel Kang, who was she played on the hockey team with us my freshman year, but she doesn't play anymore. She posted, and I DM'd her, and I was like, hey, like, what's the deal with the club hockey team? Like, do girls play? Yada, yada. Where can I talk to the coach if I'm interested? And, yeah, she gave him my number, and then I just started, Traden, who's our coach, texted me, and I started talking to him, and then I came to the first practice.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Anything, Dennis, that you got kind of on your mind?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what made you choose? Like, I know back east, I grew up there when I was very young as well, so I can relate to you on the hockey and the ice. Very, very different culture than here for
Yeah,
sure.
100%. Where are you from?
I grew up born in South Korea.
Oh, gotcha.
But when I was a very young age, we would move around a lot. And so I actually lived in Andover for a little bit, and then we moved down to Cambridge, in Cambridgeport area, which was cool.
Boston boy.
Yep, very young. I don't remember a lot because I was very young. But I just remember a lot of my friends would go rowing. A lot of my friends would do like they would be into like the waters, I know, or the ice. It's either you're in the water or you're in the ice type of deal.
I know what you mean. There's a lot of kids who are like on the sailing team.
Exactly, like either
Wow.
sail or you're rowing, or you like hockey,
Those
or you like
preppy
figure
New England
skating.
kids.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But for you, what made you choose like over rowing or sailing or kind of being in the water? What made you go to the ice route and
Yeah,
the
I think it just ties back to my family, like going skating, which is something we would always do. So, like my mom was a figure skater. My dad and my stepdad both played hockey. All my step-siblings played hockey. My sister figure skated. So just like going to the rink, we would always go to like public skating hours. It was just something that we all did together. So I think hockey was kind of like a natural choice. I mean, it was either figure skating or hockey, just because that it was just such a part of my family's dynamic, I guess. That's what pushed me towards hockey.
Right, I love that. Following your family's, kind of your family's legacy there, not
Carrying
stopping
on
that.
the family name.
Exactly.
Carrying the
I
torch.
love that.
Yeah, passing the torch for sure.
So I guess that kind of leads me to, now that we're here on the team, this is, if I'm correct, your fourth year?
It's my third year.
Third year.
So I played my freshman year, got canceled because of COVID sophomore year,
Okay.
so now coming back this year as junior.
So you've had, I guess you could say 2 years of experience on the ice. Now, we got to address the elephant in the room with how Chapman, it's not a school sport, but rather a club sport for the school. And you guys are in the ACHA, correct?
ACHA Division II.
Yeah. What's that like from your perspective? We've had team members before on the show, and they've kind of given us this perspective of like what it's like to be on the team, but how can you kind of describe it from a female athlete's viewpoint?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely an interesting thing. I mean, every time I tell someone, they're like, you're on the men's hockey team? Like, there's no women's team? Like, it's kind of cool to see the reaction that I get from people, especially if I'm, like, out somewhere and they're like, you're that hockey girl, right? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I guess that's my name now, hockey girl. But, no, it's been really cool. I think also it kind of just speaks to what I was talking about earlier, like the difference between, like, the West Coast and East Coast culture. I feel like if I were to have joined, like, the men's hockey team, like, in high school or something back home, like, people would be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, a no-no, just because I think, I don't know, people are probably more set in their ways, especially coming from, like, a prep school, which is, like, kind of, like, old school. It's, like, your typical, like, preppy,
rich, I get that.
set in their ways type of people. So it's been cool being here and all the guys on the team have been super, like, accepting of us, and especially Traden, our coach. Like, I can't speak enough good things about him. He's treated Kinsley and I, who's the other girl who's been on the team with me my freshman year, exactly the same as everyone else. We do all the same training, practicing, traveling. Like, we have to be in the same locker room sometimes, which is which is one thing that I actually do wish. So we could be treated a little differently. But it's been really cool. And same with all the guys on the team have been super cool to us. Like, they just treat us like everybody else, which is, we couldn't ask for anything better than that. And I think really speaks to the guys that we have on the team. We have a really good group of guys, and, there's a lot of guys out there who wouldn't be super accepting of
of course.
two
Definitely,
girls joining the team. So, yeah, it's been awesome.
definitely a testament, to the culture that you guys have built. So
Yeah, for sure.
that's awesome
We
to
have a
hear.
great group of guys.
Yeah. Well, Dennis, I think real quick we're going to just pause for a quick break to hear our promo for Chapman Sports Radio's Panther Insider, and then we'll be right back with you guys.
Yo, this is your host, Parker Bell, for Chapman Sports Radio's Panther Insider, Spring 2022. Please tune in every Monday, Wednesday at 3 p.m. on chapmanradio.live to find interviews with Chapman athletes.
All right, welcome back, guys. And now, Liv, thank you so much once again for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
I think what we want to do now is kind of get to know, I guess, this most recent season, this last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how did you guys do? How did you fare in the ACHA? You know, what was the record again?
I wish I could tell you.
Yeah,
Is it bad? I don't know our own team record. Yeah, so this year, unfortunately, we didn't have playoffs. It got canceled because of when COVID spiked again. They ended up canceling the tournament. So that was kind of a bummer. But, yeah, overall, I think we had a good year. I think we were the most competitive we've been in this league in a long time. I know the year before I was a freshman, so the seniors on the team now, they had a really tough freshman year where they were not competitive in this league at all, really, from what I've heard. So I think it's good for them. I'm happy for all the seniors for them to be able to see how much the team has grown, and we have a lot of good hockey players on the team. Like some of the guys that we have on our team could easily play NCAA Division III, or I know there was even a kid on our team who was talking to Division I teams. So yeah, and I think something I've noticed from my freshman year this year is just how much the team culture has grown. Everybody's so much closer than they were my freshman year, and I think that really speaks to Dexter and all our two captains and the kind of culture that they've made happen.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's what I like about it is that there's a lot of excitement surrounded around the sport. I mean, I see every day that every game the rinks are filled, you know, with Chapman supporters, and I just think that's beautiful to see for a club sport in general. But
for sure, yeah, I think that's something that has changed a lot since my freshman year. Like this year, our first game, that was the most fans I've ever played in front of. Like, and it just makes it so much more fun. Like I love when the fans are there. Like it just gets all of us so much more hype, and it's a little intimidating stepping onto the ice, like especially the first game of the year when you have like a whole crowd. Like we were all kind of rattled, but it makes it so much more fun.
Yeah, and now, so are you coming back next year to play? Next
I will
season?
come back. Every year I contemplate it, just because I don't know. It is a time commitment, just like anything else. And as I'm getting older, I'm like, okay, it's like senior year. Like I need to be like getting an internship and jobs and stuff. Like, am I really gonna do this? But then it's like, it's my senior year. I gotta go back. And also I think it's the guys on the team that keep me coming back every year.
Oh, I love that. Well, Dennis, I mean, it's almost time to move to everybody's favorite segment.
Oh boy.
The hot seat. Liv,
The best.
prepare yourself. But before we
scared.
get there, I'm going to pass the mic along to Dennis, and we're going to see if he has anything else, you know, he wants to learn about hockey, or it's just you in general.
Yes. I think the two biggest questions I had for you, just kind of going off of what Parker was saying, as a club team, do you feel like any different because since you feel like you're a club team and you're not an official, let's say like in the league with like, you know, NCAA or, you know, SCIAC, do you feel any different about that, or are you're just playing because it's, you know, obviously it's the passion, the hockey that you come to love? You know, I've always minded that, you know, because I feel like half the times sports is about your mindset too, more than the actual playing. And so I'm always curious just from your mindset as an athlete.
Yeah, no, I don't think I approach it any differently with it being a club team. There aren't any NCAA programs in California for ice hockey, so like we do have a lot of people who, you know, this is their college hockey experience. Like this, it's not like they're not treating it like an intramural sport or anything. And I know like Dexter and all our captains, like they're very serious about it, and the whole team is serious about it. And honestly, I think us being a club team actually helps us with like in terms of like the fans that we bring out, because with us being a club team, it's less of a time commitment. We have a lot of people on the team involved in other things. Like I'm in a sorority. We have a few guys on the team who are in fraternities, and like I think it's like kind of funny like when like half of my sorority shows out. We've got like all the Phi Delta guys, all the Beta guys, and I don't think that would happen if we were on like a regular team where it's like for the baseball team, for example, it's like they're kind of like their own little frat. Like they're not really involved. I mean, I'm obviously not speaking for everyone on like the baseball team. I'm just giving a random example.
Of
but
course,
like
yeah.
I think because we are involved in other stuff, that's why we get a lot of fans.
I love that. It's all about the participation too that matters.
Yeah.
Which is great. I think my other question was, I mean, for hockey, where is your home? Like, if you have a home game, where is your location for just for future reference for people that want to have your new fans that want to see your games?
Yeah, so we play at Anaheim Ice. It's right near the Anaheim Packing District. Is that what you call it?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know. I'm not from here, so
No, you got it
don't
right.
ask me.
Very good food there, guys. By the way, if you ever want to stop for some grub.
Yeah, you can go there. You can go there after the games.
There you go.
But yeah, it's only like probably like 12-minute drive from here, so it's pretty close.
Not too bad. Okay.
Awesome.
So for you new fans out there, go watch Liv out there in the Anaheim rinks.
Come watch me fill the waters.
Yeah.
Well, Parker, I think it's that time.
Yeah.
Shall we say?
Oh boy.
Dun, dun, dun. Everybody, it is hot seat
I'm
time.
ready.
So
I was born ready.
without further ado, Liv, I'm going to pass this along to Dennis here, and he's going to ask you a rapid-fire set of questions. Only rules, no thinking, 1 second, quick
All
answers,
right, first thing that comes to mind.
and we're going to get to know you a lot more. So
Sweet.
let's do it.
Back.
Evan, do you feel that? It's really starting to heat up in here.
Yeah, I'm sweating a lot. Did you turn up the heat or something?
I didn't, but now that I think about it, I'm looking at our guests and they look pretty nervous.
Oh, you know what that must mean. It's time for the hot seat.
Hold on. Goddamn heart rate's about 130.
Alrighty. Welcome.
Sitting up straighter in my
Sitting up
seat for
straight
this
here.
one.
Alrighty. Liv, are you ready now?
I'm
For
ready.
your hot seat.
Hit me.
Alrighty. Favorite city?
Boston.
Last thing you cooked?
Chipotle.
Saturday or Fridays?
Saturday.
Person who makes you laugh the most?
My roommate Tatum. Shout out
Just
Tatum.
fill in the blank. Justin Bieber is?
The man who was on my door on a poster in 6th grade.
Patriots versus Giants.
Oh, Patriots. Come on, I'm from New England.
Baseball or football?
Football.
Nantucket or Cape Cod?
Cape Cod. I'm a Cape Cod girl.
Disney versus Marvel?
Disney.
Slap shots or long shots?
Rich shot.
Last thing you ate?
Yogurt.
Tea versus coffee?
Oh, coffee all day. All
Alrighty.
day, baby.
Alrighty.
Oh, Liv, that was wonderful.
That was wonderful.
Thank you
you.
so much for doing that.
I like how the last thing I cooked was Chipotle.
I know.
I heated it up.
I mean, if you heat it up, it still counts as
yeah,
cooking,
I
right?
can cook in a microwave.
Wow. Well, those are some perfect answers. Shout out, Justin Bieber for being on the wall there in 6th grade.
Yep, I did. I went to Believe Tour too, 7th grade.
No way. I
mean-
went to my first T-Swift concert around that time.
Yeah, I was tight with JB back in the day.
Look at that.
Love
See,
it. We
hot
love it.
seat, bringing people together, learning things about athletes you wouldn't have known prior. So, Liv, after hot seat, we kind of like to bring it to one of our other favorite segments, which is a new segment titled On the Inside.
Ooh,
Now, what we do here is get to know what it's like to be on the team, kind of behind the scenes,
Gotcha.
any superstitions, any locker room talk that only men's hockey players would know. So I'm going to go ahead and get this rolling, and we'll start those questions soon.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Panther Insider.
All right, here we go, Liv. It's time for Panther Insiders on the Inside. So, first and foremost, Liv, any superstitions that maybe not just the team, but you have while playing hockey?
So I don't know if I would call it a superstition, but I have this like one pair of socks that I wear every game and every practice.
Okay.
And I think it's just because they're in my hockey bag, but I do wash them.
Oh, yes, of course.
So don't worry. I do watch them.
We
but
assume you did. Don't
Also,
worry.
it's funny because it's like, I think at one point it was 2 pairs of socks, and one was a mid-calf and one was like a knee length. So now it's just like one mid-calf, one knee length. So
You
now
have
they got
alternate
switched.
socks.
Yeah. But yeah, they've served me well over the years.
All right. I
Maybe
love
someday
that.
I'll replace them, but I'm trying to make it all 4 years.
Is it like your good luck charm type of sock for every game? When you see it, when you know.
I think they're just comfy.
More convenience than
Convenience
superstition.
factor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
More convenience.
Now, how about, kind of moving along to like the team aspect? Is there anything that you guys do to get prepped for a game that nobody
So-
else would know about?
We always play Suey. Do you know what Suey is?
Sweet.
No, do
Please
you know, Parker? I don't
please
think I've heard of
explain.
that.
It's
Please
like
explain.
this game where, I don't know, I guess it's a hockey thing. A lot of hockey teams do it before the game. But like, you all stand in a circle and then someone like throws the soccer ball and then you all have to like juggle it and try and keep it up. And then if you like miss it, you get out. And it gets kind of heated, like when you get down to the bottom too.
Okay.
And my strategy is always just pray it doesn't come near me. So because if like I hit it and I get a bad hit, then I'll get out. So it's like sometimes I've made it to the final 2 just by like standing there.
Kind of hiding out in the back,
Yeah.
yeah?
Kind of reminds me of hot potato.
Yeah, very
Like,
sports version of
Sports
hot
version.
potato.
Yeah,
of that,
but we've got Thomas Pierce just joined the team this year, who's on the soccer team. So I think he probably wins every single time. But
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
I love
dual
my man
sport
Thomas
athletes,
Pierce.
Just
TP,
Shout out to him.
TP.
dang. So, okay, that's a fun way that you guys kind of build that camaraderie before games.
Yeah, it's fun. Even though I suck at it.
Sometimes sucking at things can still be fun. Now, how about after the games, though? Is there something that you guys do as a team to just bond or have fun?
I feel like we always listen to like the same songs after we win. I wish I could name off the top of my head, but I feel like Dexter, whoever has got a playlist that they always play. And then if it's after, if it's a Friday night game, we might pull up to Icebox afterwards.
yeah. No, awesome. I love that. I mean, that's one thing that maybe society stereotypes hockey players as is a bunch of party animals, right? But I think what really that boils down to is just it's a team that's close, a team that has a lot of camaraderie and a lot of love for each other. So
Yeah, I don't even know if I would say we have a lot of party animals. Our coach, Traden, always says that we have a lot of, like, character. He's like, we have so many characters on this team. Like, we have a lot of, like, different personalities, big personalities. It's a diverse bunch.
Okay, let's dig into that a
Yeah.
little bit because for me, in my head, I do feel when I think hockey player, I do think of characters. I
Yeah,
think
we've
they're
got some
very
characters for sure.
unique, straight from Nantucket or some random place in West Virginia, and they just are so funny. So I kind of want to ask you,
Yeah.
funniest person on the team.
Oh,
Go.
that's easy answer. Who do you think I'm going to say? Harrison Lowe.
Harrison. There
Harrison's
we go.
funny.
Awesome.
He's a good one. I have some Harrison stories that I could tell if you want me to.
Well, we're not speaking for Harrison here, but
Okay, wait. Do I have time for a story?
please dive in.
Okay, so freshman year, it's right when the holiday drinks came out at Starbucks, so and you already know the Starbucks line is long, but
Oh, yeah.
this is this is like a 2-hour line for the peppermint mocha, and I finally get up to the front of the line, and I've probably been standing here for way longer than anyone should stand to get their coffee, and Harrison Lowe walks in to the full Starbucks, and he just screams across this is like after I first met him, screams across the whole Starbucks, "Liv, are you getting whiskey in your coffee?" in front of the entire Starbucks. And I was like, little awkward freshman Liv. I'm like, no, nope.
Just want my peppermint
I just want my
mocha.
peppermint mocha.
Wow.
But yeah, that's one of many Harrison stories.
I believe it.
Well, shout out to you, man. That, way to get your friend embarrassed in that moment.
He got jokes.
Kind of like an initiation, right?
I love it.
Okay, now who else would you say is one of like the craziest characters on the team?
I'm trying to think. We've got a kid in my year, Vincent, who I'm good friends with. Vince is a good character player. He's just a funny guy. He's one of my best friends on the team. We've been good friends since freshman year. And I don't know if I have as many stories about him, but I think he's good with like the one-liners, you know.
Okay, yeah, you always need that kind of witty.
Yeah.
Like the puns and
Yeah, I'm good
whatnot.
friends with Vince. Love that guy.
No,
Shout out
awesome.
Vince.
No, shout out, Chapman men's hockey. I think that throughout this episode, we've certainly learned a lot. And we've learned that Liv is coming back for next season. So before we kind of shout out the next season and learn what's to come, I'm going to pass it along to Dennis, see if he has any more on the inside questions for you. Liv.
Alrighty. I think my question that I always want to ask every athlete is, do you guys as a team or just by yourself individually have like a pregame routine? Do you have a nickname that people call you as, especially on the hockey team? I know different guys might call you different things, but in general, do people know you by something?
No, everyone just calls me Liv on the team. I think it's
Okay.
because I think the guys sometimes have nicknames for each other, but I don't know. Also, I think it's hard when you have a 3-letter name, Liv. Like you
That's
can't.
true.
You can't have many
It's
good
simple
nicknames
though,
with that
so I
one.
get that part.
But as far as our like pregame routine, I'd say like Suey's our big one. Is we always play the soccer game before every game, and yeah, just listen to some music in the locker room.
Nice.
Now, kind of moving on to that, do you eat before your matches? Like, are you the person that doesn't eat or will
No,
throw
I
up?
do. I have to. You gotta.
You gotta fuel up.
You gotta fuel the tank. I feel like this podcast is making me sound like a horrible cook, but I try to eat healthy. I can whip up some chicken and rice before the
You
game.
have a little protein before a game.
Yeah, gotta
Basically,
get big.
we asked because we've had many different athletes from a wide spectrum of sports.
Mm-hmm.
And when we ask them about food, a lot of them are like, I can't do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of them are like, I just cannot eat or I will throw up. But then like the football players, I think they go to like a specific restaurant.
They're like, we need to eat.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's just interesting.
So I don't eat too much before the game. Sometimes if I'm like nervous too, then I won't eat. But there's this one. You guys know like who Sidney Crosby is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he plays
Yes.
for the Penguins. I'm pretty sure his like famous meal that he eats before every game is the peanut butter and jelly. And I think I've done that a few times because it's kind of good because it's like not too big. It's
Yeah, but
like
you're
you
getting
can.
what you need.
Yeah, you can eat that before.
Get
the
your
game.
protein and a little sugar in there.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite restaurant you guys go maybe like after a game as a team? Do you guys have like a favorite it's like a tradition for you guys or a ritual maybe?
Yeah. So at the end of every year, we go to Anaheim White House,
Ooh.
and we have like our little banquet there, and that place is so nice. That's probably one of my highlights of the season. I love Anaheim
yeah.
White House, and we have a good relationship with the chef there, Bruno, and he runs like a food drive. So every time we go there, we bring like canned foods and like pastas and stuff. In exchange, he helps us out, brings us some nice food.
Well, I love it. I love that. Now, kind of my last question I had for you, Liv. I know you kind of mentioned you paid your. Remind me to get Suey.
Suey.
Gotcha. I didn't want to.
I don't know how to spell that.
No,
I can't
you're
spell
good.
that
Totally
for you,
good.
but I know
I
it's
want to make sure I was
pronounced
saying
Suey.
it correctly. If me and Parker were in that locker room, besides Suey, what would we be hearing? Would be seeing people warming up? Would everyone just be loud? People doing their own thing? Kind of walk me through that. Yeah, some speakers or people listening to their own tunes or.
Yeah, everybody. I think it's definitely like less like. I've been in locker rooms before where people are kind of just sitting silently, listening to their own music and doing their own thing. But I don't think we have a locker room like that. I think everybody's always chatting and joking around or doing whatever, messing with each other, and we're always listening to music. But I can't confirm nor deny some of the things I've heard in that locker room, man.
What's a good hype
That
music
goes
you guys
in one
listen
ear
to?
and out the other.
Oh, of course. Always.
Sometimes me and Kinsley are sitting next to each other and we're like, what? Oh, I'm like, did they actually just say that?
I didn't hear anything.
That dynamic.
See,
of like,
I've talked to Kinsley about this before, and it's like I'm very self-aware of like I'm not one of the guys, and I have never really tried to be like one of the guys. And me and Kinsley have both agreed there are certain conversations we don't need to be a part of. Not that like anyone's saying like anything like horrible in the locker rooms, but like obviously there's certain things that I would say to my female friends that I wouldn't say to my male friends, and I'm sure it's vice versa.
Yeah, I think in college
absolutely.
athletics, the
Yeah.
locker room talk of boys and female athletes
Yeah,
is
exactly.
Very well
different.
differ.
Yeah.
100%.
And that's interesting to see, being you, as you know, having you on the team. Now,
Still amazes me that especially you being one of the 2 girls on the hockey team, that you feel so comfortable just being in that locker room with all of them. Before I started this, channel, I was just like thinking to myself, I hope there's anything crazy, like any crazy stories about her being on the team. And
no,
wow, it just seems amazing to me. I'm amazed, like in a good way. Like I love how the Chapman community is just, with a co-ed team, it's just how bonded you guys are.
Yeah, it's
at
really
least for
cool.
myself.
And sometimes, like when we can, like Kinsley and I will like go in our own locker room. But sometimes, like if we are in the the locker room with everybody else, it's not really weird. I think we're all just used to it at this point. And honestly, it's like it's definitely like with the guys and girls on the team. Like everybody's always like, so have you like dated any of the guys on the team and stuff like that? And it's like it's 100% like a older brother, younger sister relationship, and I'm sure any of them will say the exact same thing.
Right. Well, I love that. It's like a whole family in there.
Yeah.
Panther family there.
But bouncing off of that, though, I mean, the question that came to mind was, sure, everybody here is quite open, but do you run into any instances where your opponents are like either taken aback that there's a female on the team, or how's the dynamic actually on the ice when you're playing? I know what position are you again?
I'm a forward.
You're forward, so you're in there. You're in the
there.
action.
You're getting the goals in.
Yeah. So what's it like for those defenders to just kind of see you coming at them?
It's a really good question, and it's actually the only time I've really experienced anything negative is from guys on the other team saying stuff. I've never heard anything bad from anyone at Chapman saying anything. Everybody's just been super supportive, but I've definitely had times on the ice where like guys will go out of their way to hit us or something like that, like people will say stuff and like just like make comments and stuff, but sometimes it's fun. You just gotta say it right back. And I mean, there's times like where I'll get like hit on the ice and stuff, and all of the guys on our team will go after them and have our back, which is really nice. But at the end of the day, it's nice that they do that, and it's cool to know that they have our back, like I said. But I know if I'm out on the ice, all is fair, so to speak. Not to say that I enjoy getting
everybody hit me.
ran over by a 6'4" man wearing knives strapped to his feet. But when it does happen, I'm not gonna like lose my mind over it.
No, I think with that, it's as we all kind of might make light of it, it's important to kind of point out that it's really awesome of you. Almost go as far as to say kind of trailblazing. I know you and Kinsley there, and there's been other girls on the team as well, but you guys are really showing for future female athletes on the way to Chapman that it can be done. You can make an impact on the team. Yeah,
and I feel like I give a lot of credit to Rachel King, who was she played on the team before Kinsley and I got here, and if she wasn't on the team, I 100% wouldn't have joined, just because it's nice to have other girls on the team there too. You kind of don't stick out as much when there's 3 of you versus 1, and I think it's cool that we had 2 new girls join and play a few games with us, and it's cool to think that like Kinsley and I did the same thing that Rachel did for us, so it's cool to kind of pass it along, and hopefully Kinsley and I are both graduating next year, and I don't know if any other girls join, it'll be cool to see them doing their thing.
No, exactly. I hope if any of you listeners here are, hockey fans and you used to play and you're a female, just know that it can happen.
You can do it.
Just take that step. So that kind of leads us to the end, Dennis. We just want to thank you so much, Liv. This was an amazing episode.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. This was fun.
So fun having you.
Do you have any last, before you, to the audience here that are listening right now, do you have any last words or any advice or anything you want to shout out or any last things you want to say, Liv?
Shameless plug time.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. Yeah, I guess I just want to, I was talking about this a little bit before, but I just want to shout out the guys on the team because we really do have such a great group of guys, and we've had awesome captains this year with Nolan Dexter. And like I said before, not every group of guys would be as accepting of girls playing on their team as they have been. So got a shout out to them, and yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun playing with them.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, Liv. This has been an amazing episode, like Parker has mentioned.
Wow, thanks for hyping me up, guys.
No, of course. Thank you so much. And thank you, as always, listeners, for tuning in. You find us on Monday and Wednesday at chapmanradio.live or on YouTube with live streaming at Chapman Sports Radio. And as always, you can find our episodes on Spotify under the same name. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
This is Chapman Sports Radio, Panther Insider, the only radio show dedicated to Chapman athletics.